afternoon and welcome to the Midday News here on CNC3 and the TVC Radio Network. I am Bhavita Gopalchan. Thank you so much for joining us. Top of the news at this time. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is accusing Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar of supporting the distortion of history. Now, this comes after Persad-Bissessar dismissed as a non-issue controversial remarks made by her party's public relations officer, Dr. Kirk Mayhew, about Dr. Eric Williams. On the 63rd anniversary of independence, Dr. Mayhew claimed Williams was not truly the nation's first prime minister, but only premier within the West Indies Federation, while Barbados' Sir Grantley Adams was prime minister of the Federation. Now, the comments sparked outrage, but when asked about it, Persad-Bissessar brushed it aside, saying the country has more pressing issues to focus on. Dr. Rowley, however, hit back on social media, accusing her of facilitating the revising of history and facts. He praised Dr. Williams' role in transforming the nation, expanding education, housing and financial opportunities, saying his legacy should not be diminished. And the Patriotic Front is criticizing the Prime Minister, opposition leader and president for not attending the Interreligious Organization's Day of Prayer on Sunday. In a social media post, Michaela Pandey said the moment meant to embody national cohesion became a painful snapshot of this country's division. Pandey said the absence of Kamala Persad-Bissessar from a ceremony that she championed is deeply disheartening. The Patriotic Front leader also went on to express disappointment in the absences of the opposition leader and president. Pandey went on to say that the weight of their actions would be felt by the people who look upon their leaders for guidance and hope. Pandey also said the empty chairs at the IRO's event shows that unity remains a fragile hope in this country. Now to this, a major shift is underway in the corridors of the Industrial Court. Former Couva South Member of Parliament Rudy endorsing Labour stalwart Selwyn Samru and ex-magistrate Brahmanan Jube are stepping into the roles previously held by judges Vincent Cabrera, Lawrence Achong and Wendy Ali. The new judges will receive their appointments today. Endorsing and Samru will preside over matters in the Essential Services Division, which handles disputes affecting the civil service, police, fire and prison services. Dubé takes on the broader remit of the General Services Division. Joint Trade Union Movement and civil services bodies have highlighted deeper unease with the state of the Industrial Court. At the center of that unease is Judge Larry Achong, the outgoing chairman of the Essential Services Division and head of the Special Tribunal. Now, the JTUM has long raised concerns about his perceived partiality, calling for his removal not only on procedural grounds, but out of a conviction that his continued presence undercut the integrity of justice. That tension grew when Achong received a 6-month extension to his term, granted by the president after court presidential intervention. Now, unions argue that such extensions delay new hearings and leave essential matters in limbo. The lawyer for a prison supervisor is questioning why her client has to wait over 2 weeks for a review of his detention under the ongoing state of emergency for allegedly being connected to a gang. Attorney Crystal Primus, who is represented Gorda, raised the issue in a letter to the chairman of the 3-member review panel on Monday. In the correspondence, Primus noted that Gorda has not been charged for the gang-related activity that was alleged by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander when he issued a detention order against him on August 18th, stating that Gorda's continued detention was an abuse of power by Alexander and is unlawful. Primus requested an expedited hearing. While speaking with CNC3 News after requesting the review last week, Primus said that Gorda was directed by former Prisons Commissioner Carlos Carraspi to drive a group of senior officers to the Tetram barracks in Chaguaramas. She claimed that Gorda never left the vehicle while his colleagues went inside. Meanwhile, a 42-year-old man was chopped and shot to death near his home last night. Police say T.J. Joyce was at his Dennis Avenue Plantation Road home at around 11 p.m. when he got into a fight with another person. Well, during the fracas, Joyce was reportedly chopped several times. Residents also reported hearing gunshots at the scene. The Valencia police were called in and found Joyce's body in a dirt track near the roadway. Investigators found several spent 9mm shells near his body. Joyce's death comes 2 days after the body of 70-year-old Gilbert Elias was dumped in bushes off Kumaca Road, Valencia on Sunday morning. Officers of the Region 2 Homicide Bureau are continuing inquiries. On to some other developments now. The Adult Literacy Tutors Association is appealing to the public to come on board and support the NGO's drive to assist citizens with their literacy. Tutor Deborah Thomas Austin says, while classes are free to members of the public, there are many expenses to cover, including teaching materials. And while students are able to contribute to the cost, many are not.
Classes are free to the students. They spend $20 per term to purchase their workbooks, those who can. We also have people who are willing to sponsor a student. So you can sponsor a student at the cost of $600 for the school year, for the academic year. We have persons who can sponsor a class. So with a $1,000 sponsorship, you can sponsor the materials and so on needed to run a class for the entire year. We have our Alta online program. We also encourage sponsorship for that. So those are ebooks that cost $600 per book. So persons can sponsor that as well.
Once registered, students may stay as long as needed to achieve the literacy goals. Annually, approximately 1,500 students attend Alta classes, and Thomas Austin says it is always life-altering.
I think when we see the students grow and change and be able to live their everyday lives with that confidence and self-esteem that comes from being able to do things that they couldn't do before. I mean, the stories are heartwarming.
Alta's work is recognized for its effectiveness in reaching large numbers of adults at low cost. In 2001, Alta received the National Award of Hummingbird Medal Gold for service in the sphere of education. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots all-rounder Navin Bidesi says he'd prefer to be playing for Trinbago Knight Riders in the Caribbean Premier League. The Powergen all-rounder, who played one first-class match for the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, took 1 for 30 and made 12 not out in the Patriots' 12-run loss to the Knight Riders at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy on Monday. He shared with journalists after the match how emotional he felt to be playing in a CPL match in front of his home crowd for the first time.
It's just a blessing to be in CPL, you know, no matter what team. Obviously, I would have liked to represent TKR, but I'm grateful for the opportunity anyway. The feelings this morning coming on in the bus was surreal. Just listening to music, feeling to cry, all kind of thing, just being here. It means a lot. I grew up playing a lot of cricket here, so it's just a privilege and a blessing. So I thank God for everything.
Well, Antigua and Barbuda Falcons coach Paul Nixon has not been talking the truth, according to a source close to West Indies cricket team. Last Wednesday, speaking to reporters after their loss to the TKR at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Tarouba, Nixon said CWI held back the true extent of all-rounder Justin Greaves' ankle injury from the Falcons. The Barbadian has not played a single match for the Falcons for the 2025 CPL season. A source close to the West Indies team revealed the coach was not being truthful in his assertions. The source added that all franchises, including the Falcons, were updated between the end of the West Indies-Pakistan series and the start of the CPL, with all 15 of the West Indies squad members who were part of the series against Pakistan. Well, that's it for sport. It's back to a break.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gallo Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
As Guyana waits the results from its 2025 general elections, the country's Elections Commission has offered an apology to persons with disabilities following reports of said persons having difficulties accessing polling stations. According to reports, some voters who are wheelchair-bound complained about polling stations being on the upper floor of buildings without any arrangements being put in place to assist them. Another incident was reported that an autistic voter who appeared unsure of the process did not receive assistance from polling staff. The Commission says that electoral laws require voters to be placed at polling stations within their respective divisions and subdivisions, which sometimes makes accessible placement unavoidable. Now, despite these reports, the Commission said overall voting went smoothly with limited incidents. Election results are expected to be revealed by Wednesday. Hundreds of people rallied in Minnesota on Monday, demanding action on gun violence prevention. This comes after the mass shooting at Annunciation Catholic Church School in Minneapolis last week. CNN has the latest.
I'll be a living.
Community members, youth leaders, and gun violence survivors from across the state joined a call for action Monday afternoon.
Are y'all good with going to school in fear? No! Are y'all good with lockdowns instead of learning? No! Are y'all okay with funerals instead of graduation? No! So we gotta stop the violence.
The group gathered outside the Minnesota State Capitol, calling for a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
There is no reason that weapons of war should be in our communities, our neighborhoods, or anywhere near our schools.
The rally also honored the victims of a mass shooting at Annunciation Catholic Church that killed a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and injured 18 others. Many of the victims are still recovering. The family of one fifth grader says he still has shrapnel in his neck.
I just ran under the pew, and then I covered my head. My friend Victor saved me though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit.
The FBI identified the shooter as a 23-year-old, a former student of the school who died of a self-inflicted wound.
The tears and wailing of a mother losing her child has to stop.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Well, following mounting online speculation about his health, President Donald Trump is set to make an announcement at 2 p.m. later today from the Oval Office. While the White House offered no details, Trump aides said the announcement is not health-related or a retirement notice. Instead, it will focus on the Department of Defense, with one rep describing the news as exciting. Speculation over Trump's health surged online over Labor Day weekend, with terms like Trump is dead trending on social media and health-related searches spiking on Google. Vice President J.D. Vance addressed concerns in a recent interview, insisting Trump remains in incredibly good health. Time to join Jean-Marc Rampersad with a look at the weather forecast.
We had another hot and sunny start to the morning with one or two brief showers mainly over Trinidad. This afternoon, brief scattered showers can be expected over both islands, but a few heavy showers and possible thunderstorms can be expected over western coastal areas of Trinidad. A few settled periods expected this evening, but then showers and isolated thunderstorms resume overnight. This activity is due to the first of two tropical waves in the Atlantic Ocean. The other wave is still several days away and has a high potential for development, according to the National Hurricane Center, so we'll be monitoring that one very closely this week.
Thank you, Jean-Marc, and thank you for joining us for a look at today's developments so far. We'll have these stories and so much more coming up for you in a major newscast at 7 p.m. today. Until then, have a great day.